Check, check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Check, check. 1, 2. We're good.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Just to let you know, we'll be starting in approximately 5 minutes at exactly at 11 o'clock this morning. So just bear with us. Thank you. It's a secret. The Navy have arrived, so we're just in time. Ladies and gentlemen, Madame et Messieurs, bienvenue, welcome. I'd like you to please stand for the entrance of the color party, which will be followed by the national anthem played by Morgan Grace. Thank you very much. Please be seated. If we can. I'll now ask the color party to put your flags on the staff, please, on the stands. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I want to take a minute to recognize and honor our color party. I want to thank Alexina Nolt for the beautiful bagpipe. We have Paul Sanderson, our Sergeant at Arms. We also have Floyd Lepin, the Honorable Yvon Dumont, Guy Dumont, and our own RCMP Métis, Jeremiah Dumont Fontaine. So want to recognize our color party, and thank you very much for your service. Good morning, honored guests and special dignitaries. Welcome to this year's Indigenous Veterans Day ceremony here at the Royal Canadian Legion in my hometown, Saint Laurent Métis branch number 250. Thank you for being here. We gather today to honor the sacrifices made by the Métis men and women who came before us, who willingly put themselves in harm's way to keep our country and our Red River Métis homeland safe. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Andrew André Carrière. I have a great pleasure of serving in multiple roles within the Manitoba Métis Federation, including as Minister of the Métis Community Liaison Department, Residential and Day Schools, as well as the Minister responsible for French and Michif language protection. Additionally, I am very proud to be a member of the Red River Métis Veterans Department Working Group of Veterans Cabinet Ministers. I will recognize everyone in a minute. Just give me a second. As a Red River Métis veteran myself, I'm honored to be your MC for this year's Indigenous Veterans Day ceremony in my home community of Saint Laurent, and to commemorate the incredible strength and sacrifices of our Métis veterans and their families. I would like to acknowledge special dignitaries that are here with us today, especially from our national government, the Manitoba Métis Federation Cabinet. I'd like the following ministers to stand and show themselves present. Minister Sean Nolt, Minister John Fleury, Minister Richard Janai, Minister David Bowden, Minister Joanne Remillard, Minister Mona Bures, Minister Jack Park, Minister Denise Thomas, Minister Marielle Gauthier, and Minister Mark Peranto. I hope I've captured everyone from our cabinet. Again, it's great honor from the Canadian Armed Forces. We have Colonel David Grepstad, Chief Superintendent of the RCMP D Division, Scott McMurchie, thank you. Representing the Government of Manitoba MLA for St. Boniface, Robert Lozelle. Congratulations, Robert. From the rural municipality of Saint Laurent, Rive, Richard Chatran. Thank you. Of the Royal Canadian Legion District 5, Commander Ken Morley and President Marion Fury from the Royal Canadian Legion of Saint Laurent Métis Branch. Thank you, Marion. Growing up in the proud community, I was fortunate to have been in the company of many brave Métis veterans, some of whom have family here with us today. These veterans, along with my own family members, who inspired me to join the Canadian Armed Forces at the age of 17. Luckily for me, that was in June, and I was going to be turning 18 in September. So they accepted me, and I joined the Royal Canadian Navy, first out of Chippewa, and then I was stationed out in Halifax, and then in Sherwood or Halifax, and then in Esquimalt. I did 8 years of service, And one of the things, what you don't know about the carriers, we have many carriers that have been known in history for fighting and protecting our homeland. We have Damas, a Napoleon carrier. We also have my grandfather who did a full 5 years as a medic in the Second World War, Telesphore Carrière, as well as a lot of the Sauvets and many other families that are here today. The National Indigenous Veterans Day was observed for the first time in Winnipeg on November 8, 1994, to create a space where Métis, First Nation, and Inuit people could gather to celebrate their veteran community by honoring them through culturally specific traditions that often weren't welcome at the Remembrance Day ceremonies. For the Red River Métis, it is a special day to come together and express our gratitude for our veterans and show them that we always be there for them, just as they have always been there for us. For over the past 29 years, the Indigenous Veterans Day has grown to be observed nationally. We gather here today on our traditional Red River Métis community homeland to observe Indigenous Veterans Day in recognition and appreciation of their bravery, strength, and courage in the face of unimaginable danger, to protect our country and our Red River Métis Nation. So today is also a day to reflect on the unique consequences that our Red River Métis veterans and their families experienced before, during, and upon return from serving for being Métis despite their heroic efforts. At this time, I'd like to invite you all to rise for the playing of the last post, which will be followed by 2 minutes of silence in honor of our fallen Red River Métis veterans. Thank you very much, Morgan. Please be seated. As we're following our agenda, I do want to remind everybody, if you have a cell phone, to please put them on silence, as so not to disturb the service. Thank you. Now, our Red River Métis youth, Kate and Chartrand and Cohen McKay, I would like to call you up as well. Cheryl Smith and I will, Cheryl will read the Act of Remembrance and the Commitment to Remember. So it will be read first in English, followed by in French by myself, and in Michif by Cheryl. So may I ask our youth to come up, please?
Commitment to remember. They were young as we are young. They served, given freely of themselves. To them we pledge, amid the winds of time, to carry their torch and never forget. We will remember them.
Ils étaient jeunes comme nous. Ils ont servi, donnant généreusement de même. Nous leur promettons, en dépit du temps qui passe, de porter le flambeau et de ne jamais oublier. Nous nous souviendrons d'eux.
Ils étaient jeunes comme nous sommes jeunes. Ils ont servi en donnant généreusement d'eux-mêmes. À eux nous engageons, au gré des vents du temps, à porter leur flambeau et à ne jamais oublier. Nous rappellerons d'eux.
Now I'd like to invite Father Paul Tingley of the Saint Laurent Parish to lead the Soldier's Prayer.
The souls of the righteous are in the hand of God, and no torment will ever touch them. In the eyes of the foolish, they seem to have died, and their departure was thought to be a disaster, and their going from us to be their destruction, but they are at peace. For though in the sight of others they were punished, their hope is full of immortality. Having been disciplined a little, they will receive great good, because God tested them and found them worthy of himself. Like gold in the furnace, he tried them. Like a sacrificial burnt offering, he accepted them. In the time of their visitation, they will shine forth and will run like sparks through the stubble. They will govern nations and rule over peoples. The Lord will reign over them forever. Blessed are they who have died in the Lord. Let them rest from their labors, for their good deeds go with them. Eternal rest grant unto them, O Lord, and let perpetual light shine upon them. May they rest in peace. Amen. Les âmes des justes, elles sont dans la main de Dieu, et nul tourment ne les atteindra plus. Aux yeux des insensés, ils passèrent pour morts, et leur départ semble un désastre, leur éloignement une catastrophe. Pourtant, ils sont dans la paix. Même si, selon les hommes, ils ont été châtiés, leur espérance était pleine d'immortalité. Après de légères corrections, ils recevront de grands bienfaits. Dieu les a éprouvés et les a trouvés dignes de lui, comme l'or au creuset, il les a épurés, comme l'offrande d'un holocauste, il les a accueillis. Au temps de l'intervention de Dieu, ils resplendiront. Ils courront comme des étincelles à travers la chaume. Ils jugeront les nations et domineront sur les peuples, et le Seigneur sera leur roi pour toujours. Bienheureux ceux qui sont morts dans le Seigneur, laissez-les se reposer de leurs travaux, car leurs bonnes actions les accompagnent. Accorde-leur le repos éternel, Seigneur, et que la lumière perpétuelle brille sur eux. Qu'ils reposent en paix. Amen.
Thank you, Father Paul Tingley, for those beautiful words. I want to welcome Charles Smith and our youth, Caden Chartrand and Cowan McKay, up to the podium once again with me to recite John McCrae's famous 1915 poem, In Flanders Field. Lieutenant Colonel McCrae wrote this poem in the voice of a group of a fallen soldier. Is a shared responsibility that affects everyone in times of conflict. His poem has since inspired the use of the poppy as the national symbol of the Canadian remembrance. Cheryl and gentlemen.
Okay. Dans les champs de Flandre. Dans les champs de Flandre, les coquelots se balancent dans le vent, entre les croix, rangées sur rangées, qui marquent notre place, et au ciel, les alouettes chantent en cour avec courage, volent. Guerre entendue dans les tirs du fusil en bas. Nous sommes les morts, il y a plus de jours. Nous vivions, sentions l'aube, voyons le leurre du coucher du soleil. Aimions et été aimés, et maintenant nous gisons. Dans les champs de Flandre. Reprenez notre querelle avec l'ennemi. Le flambeau, à vous toujours de le porter. Si vous trahissez notre foi, à nous qui mourons, nous ne trouverons jamais le sommeil, bien que les coquelicots poussent dans les champs de Flandre.
In Flanders fields the poppies blow, between the crosses row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky the larks, still bravely singing, fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead, short days ago. We lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders fields. Take up our carol with the four. To you, from fallen hands we throw the torch, be yours to hold it high. If you break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, through poppies grow in Flanders fields.
Au champ d'honneur. Au champ d'honneur, les coquelicots sont parsemés de long en long. Auprès des croix et dans l'espace, les alouettes devenaient lasses. Mêlant leurs chants au sifflement des obusiers, nous sommes morts. Nous qui songions la veille encore à nos parents, à nos amis. C'est nous qui reposons ici, au champ d'honneur. À vous jeunes désabusés, à vous de porter l'oriflamme et de garder au fond de l'âme le goût de vivre en liberté. Acceptez le défi, sinon les coquelicots se faneront au champ d'honneur.
Now I'd like to invite the president of the St. Laurent Legion, Marion Furry, to bring remarks on behalf of branch number 250. Marion.
Thank you, Minister Carrier. Good morning, everyone. I would like to start with a huge thank you to the Manitoba Métis Federation and the Red River Métis Veterans Department for reaching out to the Royal Canadian Legion, St. Laurent Métis Branch number 250 to host today's ceremony. We do so with unbridled pride and appreciation. Just to acknowledge to those who may not be aware, our branch is the only branch of the Royal Canadian Legion in Canada that carries the distinction of a Métis Legion. This is a huge source of pride for our community. I would like to extend a warm welcome to all our guests and dignitaries here with us today to participate in this very special event. Thank you all for taking the time from your busy schedules to join us here today for this momentous occasion. Having you all here to celebrate our Red River Métis veterans and the broader Indigenous veteran community brings a great deal of comfort and validation to our veteran friends and families. Your presence here today is a testament to your appreciation for our veteran community. We hope that you enjoy today's ceremony and are inspired to appreciate your veterans all year round. Please join us for lunch, refreshments, and entertainment by our local talent after our ceremony. We also invite you to tour our beautiful Legion and our community to see all of the improvements and initiatives that have made today possible. We thank our federal, provincial, municipal, and Métis governments for their support and assistance towards these projects. Most recently, our Wall of Honor and the 92 Métis veteran banners gracing the entire length of St. Laurent Veterans Memorial Road, with more to come over the next few years, as our community famously has over 200 Métis veterans. It is truly a sight worth seeing. They make us all so proud, and this is how we wanted to show that we will remember them. To everyone here today, thank you, merci, merci, megwich, and God bless.
And now on behalf of the Canadian Armed Forces, I'd like to welcome Colonel David Grebstad.
Thank you very much, Minister, for that kind introduction. Good morning, everybody. The first key to a successful speech in any case when you're up on a dais is not tripping when you get up here. So far, I've started out pretty well. As the good minister introduced me, my name is Colonel Dave Grebstad. For my sins, my job is I'm the G1 of the Canadian Army. And if you're not familiar with the Canadian Army staff system, and why would you be? My title is the Director of Army Personnel Management. So I am responsible for all things personnel and administration for the Canadian Army, which is just as exciting as it sounds. It's a tremendous honor to be here with you all today. As the saying goes in the hallways of the National Defence Headquarters, any day outside of Ottawa is a good day. And while it is good to leave the stuffy halls and boardrooms of the headquarters behind, it is wonderful to be back in the Métis homeland. Today, as we gather to commemorate Indigenous Veterans Day, we pay tribute to the remarkable contributions of the Métis people who have valiantly served the Métis Nation and Canada throughout history. The Métis, with their rich tradition of fighting for what's right, have made enduring sacrifices in the name of freedom, justice, and the values we hold dear as a nation and a people. In the heart of Métis tradition lies a spirit of resilience, determination, and bravery. For generations, the Métis people have defended their lands, their way of life, and their cultural heritage. This spirit of courage and tenacity carried forward into the military service of Métis men and women who fought and continue to fight with unwavering dedication on the battlefields, not only to protect their own communities, but also to uphold the shared values of our great Métis Nation. The legacy of Métis veterans is woven into the very fabric of Canada's national security. Their contributions have been felt profoundly both in the past and in the present. During times of conflict, Métis soldiers stood shoulder to shoulder with their fellow Canadians, demonstrating extraordinary bravery and commitment. They fought not only for the freedom of their own people, but also for the freedom of all Canadians, embodying the ideals of unity, diversity, and inclusivity that define us as both Canadians and Red River Métis. In reflecting on the past, we must recognize the sacrifices made by Métis veterans in conflicts like the First World War, the Second World War, the Korean War, Afghanistan, and peacekeeping missions around the world. These brave individuals left their families, their homes, and their communities to serve with honor and distinction. Many did not return, paying the ultimate price for the cause they believed in. Many of those who did return were treated as second-class citizens and were often refused the benefits their non-Indigenous comrades in arms collected. Notwithstanding this treatment, Métis could be counted upon to offer their services to Canada whenever they were called upon. Their legacy is a testament to the indomitable spirit of the Métis people and their unwavering dedication to the defense of our shared values. Furthermore, it is crucial to acknowledge the ongoing contributions of Métis veterans to Canada's national security. Today, Métis men and women, continue to serve in the Canadian Armed Forces at home and abroad. Their commitment to preserving peace, promoting stability, and defending the vulnerable echoes the values that have guided Métis warriors for generations. As we honor Indigenous veterans in general, and Red River Métis veterans in particular on this solemn occasion, let us also remember the importance of recognizing and preserving the unique cultural heritage of the Métis people. Our traditions, language, and stories enrich the tapestry of our great nation, reminding us of the importance of embracing diversity and understanding one another. In conclusion, let us express our deepest gratitude to the Métis veterans past, present, and future for their immeasurable contributions to the security and prosperity of the Métis Nation and Canada. May their courage inspire us to stand united, to cherish our shared values, and to continue working towards a future where all Canadians, regardless of their background, can live in peace and harmony. Thank you. Merci. Marcy. Megwich. Now I have to get down without tripping too.
Yeah, no, they're good. Thank you very much, Colonel Repstead. So on behalf of the Interlake region, Minister Park.
You heard him speak. He's a very strong man. Very proud to see you wear that sash today. It's a great honor to see you here once again, back in Métis homeland. For those that don't know, Colonel Grebstadt spends all his time in Ottawa at NDHQ, so he rarely sees the light of day. And he's surrounded by walls and windows, and it's quite the life at NDHQ, that's for sure. But I wanted to recognize everybody on behalf of our Vice President Alfred Anderson, our Executive Member Mona Bures. Where's Mona? Oh, there she is, sitting over there. And myself, the Interlake region. I've been lucky enough to have served this region now for over 20 years. I've seen a lot of different changes, but I'm mostly very, very proud of this Legion. The amount of work and volunteerism that they put into this Legion, Marion and Cheryl as past executive as well. I can tell you, I told Cheryl earlier, I didn't even recognize her when I came inside today. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful, and I know that the Manitoba Métis Federation supports this Legion 100% and will continue to do that. It's the only Métis Legion in Canada. It's something to be proud of. Very, very, very proud to be part of this Métis Legion here at St. Laurent. Maybe I'll become a member. Maybe I should, eh? But seriously, in all speaking, I know that a lot of the locals across the region are celebrating this day. Back when I was in the military in 1976, there was no such thing as Aboriginal Veterans Day. It didn't exist until 1994. And we're very, very proud to see that it came to fruition finally, because back when I was in the military, it wasn't cool to be Indigenous. You about it? And you didn't display your culture or your pride because it wasn't accepted. You were there to be military, you were there to do a job, and being Indigenous didn't matter to them. But it does today, so I'm very, very proud of the Canadian Armed Forces for the changes they made, as accepting us as true citizens of Canada. You know, the Constitution may be one thing, but we've always been here. We were the founders of Manitoba, for instance, the Métis. So once again, it's a very, very proud day. Very, very proud to see everybody here. But I just want to mention, too, that when I was in the military, we used to tease the Navy, which is why we were picking on Andrew earlier. Myself, John, and Sean were the only veterans on the cabinet that served in the Army, that were infantry. We were gung-ho. We went out, we fought hard. And Andrew used to give us a ride whenever we needed it. So we always thank Andrew for making sure that ship was there to take us to our battlefield. But also, as an airborne soldier myself, I want to thank these Air Force people here that are here today, because they took me to places I needed to go, but I didn't land with them. I always jumped out of the airplane before I got there. So I want to thank you all for being here today and taking part in this. Hope to talk to you individually after the speeches. But once again, it's a very, very proud day to be Indigenous, and most of all, Métis. So thank you very much.
It is true, my friend. We always kibitz about the Navy, but at least we knew where we were going. Always had a direction. Well, or when it's foggy. I know. But thank God for I had a chance to go back to on board a ship, and the changes is just phenomenal with the technologies from the days. Of course, 1976 was when the year I joined as well. And we certainly had a chance to rub shoulders with the World War II veterans at that time, and to truly understand the commitments, the self-commitments as a veteran. So it's been a long road, and we have been serving peacekeeping missions lately. But it's sorry to say that the war still goes on, the Ukraine, as well as Israel and the Palestinians. These issues are not going to go away, so the armed forces in a peace way need to try to keep peace when there's so much violence out there. I now would like to bring remarks on behalf of the Red River Métis Veterans Department. Please join me in welcoming Minister Sean Nolt.
I really don't have anything funny or witty to say after following Minister Park and Colonel Grebstad. So I'll just start into my speech that I have. Good morning. My name is Sean Nolt. As a veteran, I am very honored to serve as the minister responsible for Red River Métis veterans. This department was established to recognize, honor, and the incredible contributions and sacrifices made by Métis veterans and their loved ones. I want to begin by saying merci to the St. Laurent Legion and the Interlake region for hosting our Indigenous Veterans Day. Red River Métis have a long history of fighting tyranny and oppression to safeguard the values of freedom and democracy for all. As a people, many aspects of our culture have made us very skilled in times of global conflict. Our traditional hunting and trapping approaches prepared us with skills to track, fight our adversaries, as well as protect our fellow soldiers. These qualities gave us a distinct and strategic advantage over our enemies, in our homeland and overseas. We fought the very existence of our nation in the 1800s and then later signed up to fight in every world conflict since, including the Boer War, which Colonel Grebstad omitted. He mentioned all the other major ones in defense of all democracy. Given the historical involvement of our traditional skills and values, it is vital that we, to this day, honor our Red River Métis veterans, Canadian heroes who always haven't been given the dignity, recognition, and respects that they deserve. It is well known that over the 20th century, the Red River Métis people faced a wide range of discrimination for their identity. Despite this, our people enlisted in the Canadian Armed Forces to protect and serve a country that didn't reciprocate such humanity. On the battlefield, racial divides did not influence our soldiers. Métis service members were equals to their non-Métis counterparts and were united simply by performing the duty that Canada had asked of them. Our Red River Métis soldiers fought to preserve the freedoms of people they never met and didn't know, who banded together to fight the enemy and secure peace and freedom for the allied nations. Unfortunately, despite this unity on the battlefield, cultural discrimination awaited them on their return home. Despite the monumental contributions they made as Canadian soldiers, our veterans have routinely been denied equal treatment to their non-Métis counterparts. To our next generation of Red River Métis youth, we must know we come from very strong backgrounds of the Red River Métis Nation and roots. It's essential to understand where your freedoms come from and why you enjoy the life you live today. Our veterans, your forefathers, our forefathers, were not much older than you were when the country called upon them to fight. Many were barely 17 years of age. But even as young people, they knew that they needed to fight to protect your future and keep you safe. Today, we honor Red River Métis veterans, all men and women who served, including those who made the ultimate sacrifice and are buried on foreign soil. We honor those who are fortunate enough to come home to their families but carried trauma of war with them. We honor current active members of the Canadian Armed Forces who serve on our behalf to this day. In a time when we are seeing increasing violence and armed conflict across the globe, it's important to remember those who served in the past, as well as recognize that we may be called upon to serve yet again. We must cherish our veterans, remember their sacrifices, and honor all who wear the uniform in defense of freedom and democracy. On this Indigenous Veterans Day, we ask that you join us in remembering and preserving the legacies of the Red River Métis veterans and promoting their historic and heroic contributions all year round. These are our heroes today, tomorrow, and forever. Merci.
Thank you very much, Minister Nolt, for that. As previously mentioned by Minister Park, unfortunately, our President Chartrand could not be with us here today. For over 2 decades, President has fought tirelessly for our Red River Métis veterans to ensure they receive the proper care and recognition for their service. As a passionate advocate for our veterans, our President has sent the following video to bring greetings on this special day, the Indigenous Veterans Day. So let's put up the video, please.
Hello, everyone. Well, let me say this, November 8th, a special day for Indigenous people in this country. It's a day where we try to recognize and show our appreciation and respect for all those Indigenous veterans, the Métis, the First Nation, and the Inuit, that all decided to give and do the ultimate sacrifice, give their lives if necessary, to fight for the freedom of others they did not know, and for a country that didn't really respect them. But what's interesting to know is that today in Saint Laurent is going to be a special day. It's a Métis Legion, I'm very, very proud of, number 250. And this is an opportunity, I think, for the people, the proud people of Saint Laurent and the Métis people of surrounding area and all around our beautiful homeland to recognize all those Métis veterans that gave the ultimate sacrifice. Many still laying in foreign soil, still overseas, and their bodies will always remain there. But let me say this to the families. I've been there personally. I've watched how they treated them with such care and respect. The graveyards are immaculate. So your loved ones that are buried out there are treated with great, great respect. And I was so proud to see that, and it still happens today. And I'm very proud for the Europeans who have decided to continue to make sure that they treat your veterans, your ancestors, your relatives with care and love. And so I know they watch upon us today. As you know, I'm very religious in my own ways. And I ask myself this, we look at the Saint Laurent, historic Métis village, where you're all going to be celebrating and honoring a great people. People, as I said, once they signed their name, they're joining the military. That meant they're willing to give their lives. Sometimes we forget about that. Sometimes we think, these are just little men. Well, at one time when they left here, some of them were only 16, 17 years old. Some of them were boys, just young boys. And today, we look at your children. Your children will be 25, 30. They're still kids to you, and they're still kids to me. But this is young boys and girls that decided to give their life. Of course, the majority were all men. We look at it today, and we ask ourselves this question: how do we say thank you? How do we show appreciation? One way is to make sure we honor them. So I was very proud when November 8 came in this country that we have a special day for them, because November 11th is the big day for all Canadians and throughout different parts of the world, when they do honors in respect to all the veterans that gave up their lives and those that came back wounded, damaged, and many of them were ours. They came home and they were damaged, beaten. They saw such horror, such terror. They saw their best friend dying beside them. I spoke to so many veterans throughout my last 20-something years, fighting for the right to be recognized in this country, the apology that finally came, and the settlement that finally came to the veterans. But so many never got to see it, only from a different world. But I ask myself this question: today, when you're there, if you see a veteran standing there, go up and hug them, or just go up and say thank you. They'll understand what that means, because a lot of them, as I said, were broken. You look at the community of Saint Laurent, the Lavallees, the Coutous, and the Boyers, the Bruces, all of them, and more and more and more. There's so many different last names I can name. It'll take me a while to name all from Saint Laurent and the surrounding area. Saint Eustache, it's got a monument with so many veterans on that monument who have already passed. So today is a day I think you'll be all proud. We have a Métis general there that'll be coming, David Grebstad. He'll be coming there. And he's a Métis veteran of today, and a senior Métis veteran, which he worked up the ranks. You're going to see the jets flying over Saint Laurent. Don't let them scare you with that roaring sound. One of the things that I'm sad about is I won't be there. I already had a pre-booked holiday, and so I will be out of the country. But I'll tell you this: I'll be in a church on November 8th. I'll be at a church on November 11th, praying, and I'll be overseas. And I'd like to again say to my minister, Sean Nault, thank you for choosing Saint Laurent. It's one of the oldest Métis communities in our history, in our homeland. And Saint Laurent has a very strong history of the Métis culture. That's why the Legion is, I think, still the Métis Legion in Canada. So I'm very, very proud of, again, the Métis in the community, the RRM, the Métis local, all of them working hand in hand. You go down Memorial Road, Veterans Road, you'll be able to see about 93, I think, flags flying with the emblems. And again, this is in partnership with our Veterans Program, in partnership with the RRM, partnership again with the local, and partnership with the Legion. And if you all come together, we can do the greatest things and show the greatest appreciation. So take the time today to reflect, remember, and also remember this: there's still new veterans today. There's veterans of Afghanistan, peacekeeping that's taking place. We see the world today is in potential danger. We look at the war that's happening in Israel and the Palestinians, and it could actually become a world war very quickly, depending on how many factors come into it. You look at the war in Russia and Ukraine, it's affecting us here at home. Will there be a third world war where our kids will be asked to leave and go fight? You know, what's going to happen, we don't know. But the sad part that is happening, people are dying, and they're going to be calling upon somehow our world to intervene. And so I never come to the conclusion in my mind that these wars are over because we finished World War I, we finished World War II. And I told my people too at the assembly, you know, in 1885, this country attacked us. We have our own veterans of 1885, 1870, 1816, you know, the different battles we've undertaken to survive as a people, our identity, our culture as the true Red River Métis of the Northwest. And we paid the price too. But we reflect back and we think and ask ourselves, you know, was it all over? In 1885, 30 years later, this country came to us and asked us to go to World War I to support them, even though they went to war with us here and killed our people. We still went. We went to fight for people because of who we are. True believers in democracy, true believers of fighting for the underdog and always sticking up for those that can't stick up for themselves. That's who we are. That's who the Métis are. Strong, hard working, and proud people. So when we look at what's happening in the world today, I pay close attention to that because I don't want to see our kids ever going overseas again to fight a war that they end up laying in foreign soil again. So let's be proud of our veterans, and let's ask ourselves today that we deserve and they deserve to never be forgotten, from the veterans of yesterday, tomorrow, and those yet to come. So take care, be proud. I truly, on behalf of my wife and myself who fought this file for so long in protecting our veterans, I cried with many of them in so many meetings. I ask you to be proud of them today. Take the time, even visit the graveyard, see their names, see their military headstones, and be proud of who they are and what they did for this country and what they did for our nation. To take care, everybody. It's a proud day, November 8th. It'll be a proud day, November 11th also. On behalf of the Métis government and my cabinet, I say, be proud, believe in Métis.
Well, thank you very much, President Charton, for that wonderful video. One of the things that we saw, you know, when President Charton was the minister responsible for veterans, he did some really good negotiations on behalf of all veterans, all Métis veterans. And you saw him meeting with some of the veterans, and he was able to provide a one-time check for $20,000 for living veterans. And there were a few that have gone on and received it, and as a cabinet minister, we're really proud of our president for all his hard work on the veterans file. I now like to call on Cheryl Smith. If you have brought a wreath today, I'd like to ask you to please head to the back of the room, to the center over there, that way, and Cheryl will then call you up by name to lay of the wreath.
Yeah. You went in the Navy? Yeah. My dad did the same thing World War II. He lied, he was 17, he went in the Navy, and then he went to train in Halifax.
Well, they let me in because my birthday was like 2 months later.
Oh, I don't know. My dad was September.
Mine was September too. I joined.
Okay.
So I joined in June. And,
So
I
that's
finished
interesting.
I finished high school, and yeah, you know, even though I never lived in Saint Laurent, I have so much family here. I spent all my summers, and
Oh, yeah, I remember you telling me about
my
that
first
one.
kiss was here. I won't tell you who.
Wait, no,
I'm not telling you.
laughed.
I don't know. Anyways,
Yeah.
so is John Future still alive?
Johnny Futures? Yeah, he's still alive.
Yeah, we used to have coffee with him all the time.
Yeah, you know what? He's often at MTT. That's his brother, Mike, that owns MTT.
Oh, I don't know what MTT is.
The big 24/7 gas station there with the restaurant.
Oh, is that okay?
Yeah, yeah. He's often there, I find.
Well, I'm sure if he'd recognize me. I was young. I was
Yeah.
a kid at the time.
Okay, I guess we can start. Oh, well, we'll wait till they go. I was gonna tease, but my dad was funny, so he joined. He was 17 and all this, and he went. And then once he finished his training, they shipped him off to France, the the bomb destroyer. What do they call it? The mine sweepers?
Minesweepers, yeah.
So he got to France and couldn't wait. He wanted to find his brother Rupert Booth. So he finally found him in one of the bars, and they were playing poker, but he was gone to the bathroom. So he said, Rupert Booth, yeah, he's here. Okay, so he sat down and was going to surprise him. So Uncle Rupert came out and he looked, ah ben Frank, t'as-tu de l'argent?
Ladies and gentlemen, someone has forgotten to remove their, turn off the lights on their car. So license plates EMP 857. Your lights are on. If you want to go, if you still want to be able to turn your ignition on, you might want to go turn off your lights. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, we'll start with laying of the wreaths. From the Canadian Armed Forces, we have Colonel David Grebstad, escorted by Master Corporal Cameron Dawson. From 17 Wing Winnipeg, we have Major Egid Saint-Pierre and Master Warrant Officer Justin Saint-Onge. From the Manitoba Royal Canadian Mounted Police, we have Chief Superintendent Scott McMurchie, escorted by Constable Jeremiah Fontaine Dumont. From the province of Manitoba, we have Robert Loisiel, MLA of Saint-Boniface, escorted by Aaron Ricardo. From the Manitoba Progressive Conservatives, we have Derek Johnson, MLA of Interlake Gimli, escorted by veteran Paul Sanderson. From the Manitoba Liberal Party Executive Board, we have veteran Charles Ward, escorted by veteran Paul Sanderson. Paul is missing in action. From the Royal Canadian Legion, Manitoba, Northwest Ontario, we have District 5 Commander Ken Morley, escorted by, I don't have the name. From the Royal Canadian Legion, Saint Laurent Métis Branch number 250, we have President Marion Fury and Vice President Brian Bruce. From the rural municipality of Saint Laurent, we have Reeve Richard Chartrand, escorted by Sandra Chartrand. From the Saint Laurent Roman Catholic Parish, we have Father Paul Tingley, escorted by Guy Dumont. From the St. Laurent Fire Department, is that the one? Yeah. We have Fire Chief Roger Leclerc. He's not here. So we have Floyd Lepine coming up for the St. Laurent Fire Department. From École Communautaire Aurel-Lemoine au Champ d'Honneur, we have Caden Chartrand and Cowan McKay. On behalf of Ben Allard family, we have Barbara Leclerc. On behalf of Gillis Allard family, we have Alex Allard and Joey Allard. Alex, wave. On behalf of comrades Albert Boyer, Edouard Boyer, Liu Boyer, and René Boyer, we have Yvette Carrière and Lorraine Carrière. On behalf of Comrade Frank Bruce Sr., my pap, family members Brenda, Zach, and Debbie Jimon. On behalf of Comrade Rupert Bruce family, we have Shirley Smith. Again, on behalf of Comrade Rupert Bruce, we have Shirley Smith. Oh, she's coming. Okay. They put you way in the back, eh? Oh. On behalf of Comrade Emile Carrière family, we have Emily Chartrand and family. Oop. On behalf of Comrade Wilfrid Chaboyer, we have Diane Chaboyer. On behalf of Comrade Ovila Chartrand, we have Roberta Biors and Marie Coutu. On behalf of Comrade Henri Pierre Coutu, we have Donald Lavalley. Oh, Donald's not here. Okay. Kenneth Lavalley. On behalf of Comrade Hervé Coutu family, we have Roland, Cyril, and grandson Kevin Coutu. On behalf of Comrades Joseph E. Coutu and Louis G. Coutu, we have Darlene Mackay and Leona Coutu. On behalf of Comrade Arthur Carrière, we have Lorraine Bruce. On behalf of Comrades Hervé and David Ducharme, we have Clifford Ducharme and Debbie Lavallée. On behalf of Comrade Arthur Garou, we have Émile Garou and Lucille Ducharme. On behalf of François Guiboche family, we have Ken Guiboche. On behalf of Comrade Alexander James Monroe, we have Ashley Monroe. On behalf of Comrade Jean-Baptiste Richard, we have Colleen Sanderson. From the Interlake Métis Association, we have Minister Mona Biors, escorted by Tashina McKay. From the Southwest Regional Office, we have Minister John Fleury, escorted by Stephanie Meilleur. From the Winnipeg Métis Association, we have Minister David Baudin and Minister Joanne Remillard. From the Southeast Regional Métis Corporation, we have Vice President Denise Thomas and Minister Marielle Gauthier. From the Northwest Métis Council, we have Minister Richard Genai, escorted by Sierra Hill. Okay. From the Thompson Regional Office, we have Minister Vincent Marc Parenteau, escorted by Derek Zastre. From the Manitoba Métis Federation, Red River Métis Veterans, we have Minister Sean Nolt, escorted by Minister Jack Park. Thank you. I'm not too sure how you're going to get out if you're trapped. Oh, I'm trapped. I'll just stand here. Oh, wait. No, I'll try and get out.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, before we proceed with my concluding remarks, I also want to give a voice to a lot of our veteran mothers, aunts, who participated in the Second World War and the First World War as well. So let's not forget that the veterans is included both aunts and uncles and mothers and fathers. As we arrive at the conclusion of today's ceremony, I'd like to thank the families of our fallen Red River Métis veterans for being here today, and to everyone who laid a wreath in their honor. Thank you to our special dignitaries and those who brought remarks on behalf of their regions and organizations on this special day. I'd like to thank Cheryl Smith and our Red River Métis youth, Caden Chatran and Cowan McKay, for helping us honor our veterans in our 3 traditional languages. Thank you as well to Morgan, who's behind me, Morgan Grace, for her beautiful Métis renditions of Remembrance ceremony music. And a big thank you to the Red River Métis Veterans Department, President Marion Fleury and Colleen Couture of the Saint Laurent region, for graciously hosting today's beautiful ceremony. As mentioned earlier by Marion, we hope you will join us for our reception. We'll have refreshments performance from Morgan Grace, Jason Appleyard, the Gaudry Boys, and the Little Bitty Steppers. Our reception will begin following the exit of the color party, signifying the end of our ceremony. So if I can call on the color party to come up. To conclude our Indigenous Veterans Day ceremony, I'd like to thank our Red River Métis veterans, active service members, and their families by expressing our infinite gratitude for their bravery, dedication, and sacrifice to protect our people and the Red River Métis homeland for generations. As mentioned earlier by President Chartrand, on your way home today, please take a minute to see the beautiful banners on our Métis veterans on display on Veterans Memorial Road, and take some time to reflect on the things that you are most grateful for. Then consider how, despite facing systemic discrimination and hate from their country, our Red River Métis veterans stepped up to fight for the freedoms we hold so dearly today. The best way we can honor their legacy is by appreciating the privileges and the opportunities that we all enjoy, not just today, but for every day. Miigwech, merci, merci. I'd now like to please ask you to rise for God Save the King. Thank you very much, Morgan. I now call on the color party to pick up your flags. And we will, as the color party leaves the room, then we will be able to follow afterwards. So let's allow the color party to make their way. You might have to clear a bit of a path there, Alexia. Thank you. Thank you very much. Beautifully done, as always. Very professional. Nice to see you. Thank you. Well, I'm gonna probably go this way. Thank you, Father. Oh, maybe push the light.